What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to a brand new episode on my channel. As always, I'm Jay, and today, guys, apparently there was recently a post on Twitter from this random group that I've never heard of. According to them, they would like to ask Disney permission to use the characters and likenesses of Star Wars and the story elements so that they can, get this, remake The Last Jedi. Yeah. How the hell is that going to work? But apparently, if this isn't a hoax and this is actually serious, they have made the proposal that they are willing to spend $200 million on a production that will be taking The Last Jedi and remaking the film entirely from the story, from the ground up. And apparently, they want the fans' inputs, and they would also like to have some backers, of course. And of course, this has gotten so conflated that we're even seeing some celebrities come in and chime in and basically bash this effort, which includes the likes of Seth Rogen and even the director of the original film, Rian Johnson himself. And guys, as you might know from previous videos on this channel, I was not such a big fan of The Last Jedi. To be perfectly honest, I feel like it was the weakest Star Wars film that we've got in the entirety of the series. Yes, the entirety of the series. Prequels, the originals, and even the other films that we have in between that are Star Wars stories. What was it about the film that really rubbed me the wrong way? Well, first and foremost, I didn't like how they treated some original characters, namely Luke Skywalker, and I didn't really care for a lot of different story elements and plot devices that they used in this that I felt were very underdeveloped. And I have to be honest, I can't help but cringe knowing that Rian Johnson will someday soon have his own Star Wars trilogy. But all that aside, this is one of the stupidest ideas I've ever heard. What can they contribute to this? You're telling me you're going to take a whole film title itself and literally remake the film. Like, not even use any of the original story elements, you're going to have it from the ground up. And they're saying they want fans to help put input into the script and everything, and they want it to be not as divisive as the original. Well, that's not going to happen, guys. And let's be honest here. The film wasn't a terrible movie. It was just a terrible Star Wars movie. I mean, the film itself wasn't like Highlander 2.
There can be only one.
Now, I know what you're thinking. Well, didn't George Lucas release this and this and this? Yes, but his releases were adding scenes and supplemental special effects and whatnot. And one could argue that the only scene that ever changed the narrative somewhat, and even then not really, was the part where he had Han and Greedo, where Greedo shot first and Han did it in self-defense. But essentially what we've got is, every time the Star Wars films have been done, they have never been remade. All the stories have always remained intact. They might have added a couple little sequences here and there, but they've never removed anything that was integral to the actual overall plot of the story, in my opinion, from what I saw. And honestly, guys, what could we possibly get out of this? What could we possibly get out of this, short of a couple extra added scenes that might help the story and make it a little bit better? I mean, there's no way to work around it. And guys, listen to me. When we get the prequels, and when they were all said and done, you know, people had their doubts, their dislikes, but even those had redeeming qualities to them. Mace Windu, we got a badass Yoda, we got Obi-Wan Kenobi, we got Duel of the Fates, we have freaking Darth Maul because of the prequels. And we get a closer look at really what transpired before A New Hope and what really caused Darth Vader to come to and become the character that we know and fear today. I'm not saying that, you know, The Last Jedi has many redeeming qualities, if at all, but the thing is you know, it is what it is. And you gotta just take the good with the bad. And here's the thing, too, is we still have one more film in this trilogy to go. Colin Trevorrow was originally slated to do, you know, come in, direct, write, whatnot, but because of Carrie Fisher's death and kind of a change in direction, they brought back on board J.J. Abrams. And say what you will, but I thought Force Awakens was superior to The Last Jedi on so many fronts. And with J.J. Abrams coming back to the fray, he has the ability to omit, ignore, or enhance certain plot elements that were in the last film to his liking or his disliking. And the thing is, I trust his instinct and his intuition more than I do Rian Johnson's at this point. And then on top of that, the fact of the matter that there were a lot of things that were left undone or pretty much ditched from The Force Awakens, I feel like this is a good opportunity where JJ can kind of revive them or be like, oh no, it's not like how it was. This is how it was supposed to be all along. And it can kind of save some of those things. It can kind of redeem some of those things, if you will. So we still have one more, guys. And lastly, guys, I know you're thinking of examples of franchises that have kind of gone astray and then been redeemed. Well, take a look at the X-Men films. Those films, first two ones were so solid and very good, they got better. Then we had X-Men The Last Stand, X-Men 3. That shit the bed. Then we got X-Men Origins Wolverine, which was another failure. And then it came back to kind of an awesomeness with X-Men First Class. And then it tied it all together with Days of Future Past, which is one of the best superhero films ever. And they retconned a lot of the BS. Unfortunately, right after that, Apocalypse didn't live up quite to those level of standards, but that one was still a lot more enjoyable for me personally than, like I said, X-Men Origins Wolverine or The Last Stand. So like I said, guys, if a franchise runs long enough, it's going to have the good and the bad, and sometimes even the bad films have some redeeming factors of it. But let's be honest, guys, Disney's not really having a remake of The Last Jedi on their radar right now, especially since Solo, which I thought was a much superior movie, flopped at the box office. But anyway, guys, that's all the time that I have for today. Please comment down below. Let me know what you think about this whole idea of doing a remake of The Last Jedi. Do you think it's just as silly as I do, or do you find merit in this? And do you think that this would be a good thing or a bad thing for the Star Wars franchise to do if it actually happened? Let me know down below. Like, comment, subscribe. Keep your eye out for my next video. And as always, guys, I'm Jay. Take care.